Hi, Hari. Hi, guys. Good evening. We are ready to start our
Hi, Nipi.
session. Hi, Hari. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Looking nice and bright and
Yeah, I can all.
prayed up
Yeah,
in the Corona lockdown.
absolutely. Yeah. Imagine doing all this
Yeah.
while you're just about 200 meters away from me.
Huh? I know.
I said you're just about 200 meters away from me,
I know that's
and
quite true. I know. Yeah. We have to make the best of it, anyways.
yeah, exactly.
So, Hari, here we are. We have welcomed you on the e-coach session of the playwright. And
Thank you.
let me, all the viewers, let me introduce Hari. I mean, he doesn't need any introduction, but here's the man who's a five-time national champion in the rallying circuit in the country, and now also the Arjuna awardee. So he's the torchbearer of rally in India. And here's a man who had, collected a couple of monikers while on his rallying sprees. One was called Hari Singh. He spells himself Hari, but people on the rally circuit called him Hurry because he was always in a hurry. I got to know that from one of his managers in his first rally. And he says one guy came up to me. He says, "This guy, you are the manager," because there was Thunderbolt team. So they read that name and they asked the manager. And he's the guy, he's in your team. He says, "Oh, this guy," he says, "he's on two wheels all the time. Why is he participating in four wheels? He's always in a hurry." So that's where he got his moniker, Hari. That's what I gather. Hari, how do you say to that? What do you say to that?
Well, I don't know, Nipi. It just happened having a name like Hari, just easily converted related to speed, which what I was fond of and which I really enjoyed driving fast. So I think it's a very apt sort of alternate name.
Yeah. And Hari, what about the Flying Sikh? You are also called the Flying Sikh. We have Mr. Milkha Singh ji, who's also, and there's another rallyist from Kenya called Joginder Singh. He is also called he was called the African Flying Sikh or whatever. But well, there are three of them. How do you get that name?
I think he was the first Flying Sikh, Joginder Singh, back in in the 70s and 80s when he used to rally. He used to actually come down for the Himalayan Car Rally and rallied took part in the Himalayan Car Rally and did extremely well. He was an African champion and fantastic World Rally champion as well. So Joginder Singh was actually nice that you mentioned him. Some years back, he came to Chandigarh, and I actually got the opportunity to meet him. And he gave me a very good present. One of his African rally jackets, the Kenyan Safari jacket, which I really treasure even till date.
Very nice. That's great of him. Yeah, what a gift parting. What a gift he gave you. Yeah, great. And okay, Hari, how did you get into it? Yeah, you think something?
No, carry on, please.
Yeah. How did you? you're a boarder, right? You were in Snar, and so you were away from home and not really riding cars and driving cars at home. So how did you get into rallying? What inspired you?
Well, rallying actually happened by chance, Nipi. I was always fond of driving, and as I started driving since I was 8 years old. We had a farm about an hour out from Chandigarh on the way to Patiala. And my dad and me used to drive down, and I used to sit in his lap and drive to the farm. And as I grew up, I used to drive the tractor at the farm. The moment I could get my legs to the brakes and the accelerator and so that's how it always been fond and greatly encouraged by my parents as well, especially my dad. Dad's been a great driver, though he's not done anything professionally, but I can say he's a fantastic driver himself. And being in Sanaa, the Himalayan Car Rally used to go past our school. And we used to get the opportunity to watch all these fancy cars, these imported cars, all the Indian cars, go past the school. And then also we got the opportunity to be marshals for the Himalayan Car Rally. And that's probably where it all started. Even, we got to know that there's something, I got to know there's rallying. And so that's where the interest started. After I left school, another friend of mine, Niku, took part in the Himalayan Car Rally in 1989. And he did pretty well. And so for 1990, we decided to take part together as a team, and we formed Team Thunderbolt under Mr. Garcha's supervision, and all thanks to Mr. Rajiv Bali, who was the owner of Mount Shivalik Breweries, who ran and had the brand called Thunderbolt Beer. So we formed the first Thunderbolt rally team. There was 4 of us. There was Randeep, there was Andy Segal, and there was Niku and myself. So the 4 of us actually did extremely well in that year in the Himalayan Car Rally. We won the team championship, from which one had been won by the MRF team for donkey's years, ever since Himalayan Rally probably started.
So the Punjab guys got into it and they took over.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the Himalayan actually happened in our backyard, and that was our home. That's where we used to drive for our fun drives. We used to go uphill. It was really in our backyard that the Himalayan took place, and so it was. We were pretty comfortable in that area.
Yeah, that's great. And since I was just wondering, you started off. Well, you obviously can't start before 18 years of age. So when you start rallying, everybody's at 18 years of age. Yeah. So nobody gets a head start really, because you can't drive a car before that. So do you think that's the benefit there? You can catch up much faster with other guys in the rally already there?
See, so I would say driving a rally driver is more of a natural driver. So, he has to have it in him to drive, with a very calm mind, and with control, with no aggression as such, because the more aggression you have, the more chances of messing it up. So you've got to be a very calm and a natural driver. And then you can obviously improve on it with a lot of practice. In today's world, rallying has become very, very competitive. When I started off rallying, the stages were long. You could even have a flat tire in a stage, change it, and still have a chance of getting onto the podium. You could have a problem with your car, still repair it and get back. But in today's world, today's rallying, it's very, very competitive. A single flat tire can, throw you off the podium very easily.
Yeah, right here, I would like to interject. I was reading about Joginder Singh, Tiger Joginder Singh, the Flying Six Joginder Singh in Kenya. He, in one of his rallies, I think in 1980, one of the rallies, I believe, and he did some trick there in the opener of clutch valve, and he, adjusted the clutch gears, and he got fixed in a reverse gear. So he traveled 4.5 kilometers back to his service team. In today's day, you can't drive back on the rally route at all. So things have a lot of change. You're right. A lot of things have changed. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're lucky, and you got your sponsor. Did Rajiv Bali sponsor you guys fully, or was it did you got his name and he had?
No. He very much sponsored us completely for the Himalayan Car Rally, which was fantastic, and that probably set the ball rolling for me. As far as I'm concerned, I'm grateful that he did something like that. Being a Scenarian and also coming from the same school, so it was quite a bond that we had. And in fact, all 4 of us were Team Thunderbolt, were all Scenarians. So it was actually a Scenarian Team Thunderbolt team that took part.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's great. But it's very tough to get sponsors even today. I'm lucky. You're very lucky. You haven't got it to that time. And
coming back to Nippy about the reverse gear, I remember, the Jalori Pass in the Himalayan Car Rally. The Himalayan Car Rally used to go from Simla to Manali or to Jalori Pass.
Yeah.
The earlier ones. And the incline of the Jalori Pass was so much that some of the Fiats and the ambassadors actually had to climb in reverse gear for a certain stretch because they would get better traction.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I know. I remember that the last 5 kilometers to Jalori were really steep. They were like almost 70 degrees. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And Hari, how expensive? Our viewers might want to know how expensive is it to prepare your vehicle, for example. How much do you spend on a vehicle to get ready?
Well, Nippy, again, when we started off, there were the Gypsies, which was pretty simple. We didn't have to do much modifications to them. They were pretty sturdy. They were rugged, and you could actually finish the entire rally without much of expenditure on the Gypsy except for, your roll cage, your seat belts and your seats and a cabin. So that was the safety gear that you needed. Apart from that, the Gypsy was pretty capable of getting you to the podium. In today's time, things have changed. We have more cars that have come in. The Gypsies are pretty much out. We have, now the Polos, the Balinos, the Swifts. These are the cars that we have in our hands to play around. And preparation of these cars can get very expensive. And that's where the Federation of Motorsport Clubs comes in, and they have a different category for different, for the beginners, for the novice category, and then the overall winners. So it's great. You can start with a very stock Polo car or a Baleno, and then move up as you do well, and you find few sponsors. Then you can really a fully blown car can cost you, anything between 25-30 lakhs today.
Really?
Yeah. So to start.
That is quite an expensive proposition for rallies nowadays.
Yeah, suspension, a set of good shock absorbers set you back about 5 lakhs. So things like that, the ECU, there's a lot of things you can do to the car today. And so it adds up.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I mean, I'm even organizing rally in Sajoba, as you know, and those Gypsies are pretty much in there, but definitely, they're okay in the hills and stuff, because they move fast there. But otherwise, the speeds are not so much. I mean, as we were discussing one time, we were saying, you can hear the vehicle coming, for miles before you could see it. That kind of stuff. Especially at the Chakika mode here in the hills somewhere.
Yeah, but a nicely done up car will, has a very good, scope to beat the Gypsies.
So, but that means without sponsors, it's going to be difficult to take part in the rallies now.
Absolutely. So you got to have a good sponsor. That a lot of people say, how do you start coming into rallying? So my advice is, you won't find a big sponsor straight away. You won't find a JK or a MRF or a Mahindra straight away to give you a car and come here, drive the car. So you got to start off somewhere, and that's where the struggle is. And you got to work with smaller sponsors, see how you conserve, do the best as possible, and with whatever money you have. The talent will show up sometime or the other, and the teams will pick you up if you have the talent. So idea is to be there, and we all know today I'm on the other side of the table, so I'm looking after teams in racing and rallying and stuff. So I know exactly what a guy is capable of, even though I know his car may not be good. So, but his driving talent is there, his style of driving is good, so you can help him out. JK Tyre, I've been with them right from the beginning, right from 1990. From my first Himalayan rally, they were my sponsors as tyre sponsors. And post that, we formed the JK Tyre rally team. And once I finished rallying, and now on the other side of the table, doing, testing tires for JK Tyres, and now into form the JK Tyre Motorsport team, which we run right now as part of JK Tyres. So we are pretty much into the sport, and I'm lucky that I'm one of the few people who have enjoyed doing what one likes as a career as well.
Absolutely. But Hari, I was seeing, originally I remember there was a rally that used to cross our country called the London-Sydney rally.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, the Himalayan came. Nasir Hussain started the Himalayan 80, I think. And there were a lot of foreign participants at that time, especially in the 1980 Nasir, the first rally in 1980.
Yeah.
Why do you think, we don't have too many foreign, or do they not, our terrains don't offer them enough challenge, or what is the reason that we don't have too many, even in the Himalayan, the desert, the raid that Parmar does, even there are 2-3 bikers probably come in. Yeah. What is the reason? What is in your mind, you think?
But going back to the Himalayan car rally, I think Nasir Hussain was a pioneer in this sport. He was amazing what he did as far as the Himalayan car rally was concerned. In those days, having the roads blocked off, I remember flagging off from Delhi all the way up to Simla, through Karnal, all the roads were blocked off. The national highway was actually sealed. So he had the rally at a very high level. And he wanted to take it up further. He wanted to have chopper evacuation. He wanted to have chopper coverage. So things that, he knew what the world rally scene was. But unfortunately, I think India was not ready. I know JK Tyre was the sponsor of the Himalayan car rally. And when he, from what I hear, is when he came to ask for more for a bigger sponsorship, JK Tyre had to pull out because they didn't have that kind of money. It's not that they didn't want to sponsor, but their budgets didn't allow it to sponsor the Himalayan. So that was one of the reasons that I think the Himalayan fell through with a lack of sponsorship. And Nazir probably didn't want to do something which was not up to his standards, because I tell you, he ran that rally like clockwork.
No, he is the father of rallying in India, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't take that away from him. And so coming to the Reddy Himalaya, again a fantastic event. Vijay does a super job, puts in plenty of months and months of preparation go into that event. And I'm saying today we've also organized events. We organize in a district or maybe few districts, but the Reddy Himalaya goes to 3 states. So it's incredible that he's able to get all the permissions and the coordination work done. But again, I think his main problem was the sponsor, So his sponsor was Maruti, and Maruti was, if I was the sponsor as a Maruti, I would want a Maruti product to win. So that's where I think I don't blame Maruti for that. And I don't, Vijay didn't have any other sponsors on board. So probably that's one of the reasons. But yes, on the other end,
but it's a pity. But it's a pity that we've lost such a high-profile rally in the country.
I know,
especially in the north. That was the only one in north. Except maybe Sajoba and some other ones.
But knowing Vijay, I can't see him sitting back and putting his feet up. I'm sure he's working on something.
Yeah.
Something that he's going to be.
Okay, there's a question from Dilip Joshi from on the net. He's asking you, who discovered your talent? Dilip Joshi?
Actually, going back, the Malin Rally was the first, the beginning. We finished 6th overall. And so that's, first let's say hi to DJ. That's DJ runs the Supercar Club. He's a great friend of mine. And we've done some great drives all over the world with him. And so the talent was always there. And I'd like to say that what started off with the Himalayan Car Rally, and then when we went down south, there's a person who's Mr. S. Karivardhan. Karivardhan. He saw me in one of the first rallies, the Scissors Action Rally in Coimbatore, and he says, "I'd like to prepare your car." And I said, sure. So, I mean, he was a great racer from the south. He was a big industrialist. He had, a lot of passion for motorsport. He had his own garage where he used to, as a hobby, used to build cars. And he actually took me on. And the story I've repeated many a times, but I don't hesitate to repeat it once again, Dippy. Because so he asked me to leave my Gypsy at his garage after the rally, and he asked me what you want to have done. I said, not much. It's running pretty well. And I just said, there's a leak in the cabin because it rains a lot down the south in Bangalore and all those hills. So he says, fine. And the next rally was, I think, South India rally. And I went down to collect my Gypsy, me and Bittu, my co-driver. And I see that he's completely transformed my Gypsy. I had just a pair of Hella 2000 additional headlights. Bittu had a pretty basic speedometer as a navigation, as his aid. And my cabin, which was supposed to have it was a 4-seater cabin so that I could use it back in Chandigarh for all the gadies as well. And but when I went back, he had ripped the entire Gypsy apart, rebuilt it completely with a new cabin, new roll cage, new seats, I had 4 Hella 2000s, a pair of Hella 1000s. In those days, maybe I'm saying this because one didn't have the budget as such. One was, just about getting through. And to see your car like that, and then, was really, really amazing. On the other hand, coming back, I was wondering, what sort of a bill am I going to get for this? Who's going to pay for this,
Yeah.
So next, I see Curry, he's loading up his cars for service. He's putting fuel into his car. He's putting all the spares, all his mechanics, all his electrician, his technical guys, all loading up. So I looked at Bittu. I said, Bittu, what's the scene? Anyway, we did the rally that entire year. Curry sponsored me completely. He built the most fantastic car for me. I never had any problems. Bittu had 2 terror trips on his side for his navigation, in light, reading light, cabin lights, all the works. It was a fantastic Jitsi. On top of that, the suspension that he gave me was incredible. Earlier on, we used to take off on a bump, land, and it used to take me about 75 meters, 100 meters to get the Jitsi back into, control. Yeah. And now we get put in the suspension. We used to take off, land, and carry on. It was a dream. It was like driving something on rails. So
great. Lovely. You need such kind of people in all kind of sports. Yeah, not rally alone. We need such kind of people who really, decipher the talent in people and push them up and stuff like that.
Yeah. In fact,
and who
see on the wall at the back, I've got his photograph still. I really
okay,
admire
right.
Come to him. Yeah, he's always there.
Great. That's
Yeah.
And Hari, who are your tough competitors during your time, yeah? Or guys you like to race with? Who were the tough guys?
We had a whole lot of people. We had Nikhil Taneja, we had Parag Bathena, we had Leela Krishnan. These were probably the top guys at that time. Leela was a big threat. Then Colonel Chauhan and Colonel Seko were the army team the winners of the Malanka rally. They were the ultimate. They were, they were gods of rallying for me. So to have, they were always there. And fortunately, I had the good fortune of being teammates with them in the JK Tyre rally team as well. So they really was good competition. And it was a very healthy competition.
And Hari, your daughter Azmat, the pilot now, she wants to know which is the most memorable rally you ever had.
Well, I think the Himalayan Car Rally was my most memorable. It was my first rally, and we did extremely well. We, got covered by a lot of media, a lot of international press. So that was, and it was Himalayan Rally was the rally of the country, and probably in the region, in the Asia region as well. And I would say another nephew of mine wants to know is which is the toughest car rally. So
Adiraj,
I think the Himalayan Car Rally was the toughest at that time. And there's Japanese WRC driver Kenjiro Shinozika who was also there. And I was seeing him giving an interview to one of the press guys, and he says, the press guy asked him, "What do you think of the Himalayan?" See on the wall at the back, I've got his photograph still. I really
okay,
admire
right.
Come to him. Yeah, he's always there.
Great. That's
Yeah.
And Hari, who are your tough competitors during your time, yeah? Or guys you like to race with? Who were the tough guys?
We had a whole lot of people. We had Nikhil Taneja, we had Parag Bathena, we had Leela Krishnan. These were probably the top guys at that time. Leela was a big threat. Then Colonel Chauhan and Colonel Seko were the army team the winners of the Malanka rally. They were the ultimate. They were, they were gods of rallying for me. So to have, they were always there. And fortunately, I had the good fortune of being teammates with them in the JK Tyre rally team as well. So they really was good competition, and it was a very healthy competition.
And Hari, your daughter Azmat, the pilot now, she wants to know which is the most memorable rally you ever had.
Well, I think the Himalayan Car Rally was my most memorable. It was my first rally, and we did extremely well. We, got covered by a lot of media, a lot of international press. So that was, and it was the Himalayan Rally was the rally of the country, and probably in the region, in the Asia region as well. And I would say another nephew of mine wants to know is which is the toughest car rally. So
Adiraj,
I think the Himalayan Car Rally was the toughest at that time. And there's Japanese WRC driver Kenjiro Shinozika who was also there. And I was seeing him giving an interview to one of the press guys, and he says, the press guy asked him, "What do you think of the Himalayan Car Rally?" So he says, "Oh, Himalayan Car Rally, very, very dangerous. You don't need seatbelt. You need parachute."
Yeah,
so,
I can imagine.
So I think that's
actually, our Himalayan circuit is actually quite tough. I remember, when we started our rallies in Chandigarh, we started in '77 with Garcha, and we were together starting off. And we had the Jaipur guys. We used to do motocross. We were on bikes. You were on gypsies and all. So the guys came from Jaipur, and we took them for a rally in the hills there. Those guys couldn't go beyond Kasoli, man. They were afraid of the hills there.
Absolutely.
You know, the track was so dicey and kind of 40 years back.
Even in the Himalayan car rally, we had all the imported cars, running up. We had for all the Yule brothers and a couple of others. We used to actually catch them up on the bend, and around the bend, they used to accelerate out. And, in a gypsy versus those imported cars, we could actually keep up with them. That was incredible. So that just shows the terrain. It's not that, the cars were very quick, but the terrain didn't suit them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, as you were saying that we've grown up driving in these hills there, and accelerating all the time. I remember. That's amazing. And Hari, tell me, you had Bittu as a co-rider all the time, right?
Yeah.
And how important is a co-rider in a rally in those days? But nowadays the speeds are much higher. In your time, probably the speeds weren't too much. But how important is the navigator?
My first rally, the Himalayan car rally, was with another close friend of mine, Tony Gill. So he was my navigator for the first rally. And we just teamed up as friends with no experience as such. But the Himalayan car rally actually didn't need any navigation. It was drive by sight. At that time, we were very, very immature. We were new to the game. So it was only driving. And what Tony only had to do was make sure I entered the checkpoint at the right time. So I didn't get any penalties, no late check-ins. And the driving was basically done. We never really looked at the road books or anything. He had to make sure just if there's a turn-off coming, he would tell me. But the Himalayan car rally had a lot of people, police people all along the route. So there's any junction as such, there was always somebody there to tell you to, go left or right. So the road book was not very, very critical. It was the timing that was very, very important. The navigator's job for us at that time was just to make sure that we clocked into the time control at the right time, didn't take any penalties. Coming to that point, I remember the last stage of the Himalayan car rally, somebody checked in early in front of us. We were coming 7th, and a teammate, a foreign entry, checked in early into the time control. And Sukhi Seko, who was ahead of us, Colonel Seko, came and told us, guys, move yourself one position up. The guys checked in early. So it's very, very critical. It could happen to anybody.
It happened to Jagmeet, I believe it happened with him. His co-driver got him on a transport section. I believe we got him early. So transport gets a lot of penalties.
The transport was the problem. The competitive was, in any case, it wasn't up to the navigator. It was the marshal at the end control who would give you the time. But the navigator's point was to check you in to the time control before the start of the competitive.
The transporter, the navigator is a very, very, very important guy, especially nowadays. Anyways, we are coming quite close to 7:30, and a few small questions. I got to know when you were young, when you used to come from school to Chandigarh, your dad once complained to his friends, listen, meri gypsy de mileage badi cut gayi hai. Did you have anything to do with that? I heard about those stories. What did you do?
I think Mr. Shashi Garcha would probably be able to answer that question more than anything else. He used to use cars and for the rallies as well. Obviously, those were carburetor gypsies, and you could play around with the jets a bit. And the bigger the jet, you had more acceleration, more power. So yes, the average did drop down, and he was quite right.
But I believe your dad said, he used to take off the speedometer wire and then raat nu le jani fir aage la deni wapas. That is,
I can do a lot of stuff, and hats off to my dad to have us grow up like that and give us the freedom to do what we wanted, and that's probably why we are here. And,
Teddy has been a great. Teddy, I know everybody knows your dad. I know him from golf. He's a great man and always supporting all the time.
And probably my mom as well. She knew that this was the way, and actually she was the one who bought me my first gypsy to take part in the rally. So it all started off in-house, and
I know.
Like.
Here there's some guys here trying to prick you now. Uday Sangha here is asking you about the JKF and MRF rivalry. I don't think you want to answer that, but
it's a fantastic rivalry. We used to fight tooth and nail. It was like India-Pakistan, and we would do anything to beat each other on the road. And but at the end of the day, it was party as as normal friends. We had a lot of people in the MRF camp who were friends. We had Karandeep from here. We had, Pepe. All of them used to rally for MRF, and Dickie Gill at that time, Nikhil Taneja at that time. Before then he came to JK. So at the end of the day, it was all a good time in the evenings. But
okay, I think we're coming to an end, Shashi. Hari, we are coming to 7:30. What is the message you would like to give to the new guys coming to the rally? It is a dangerous sport, innately. And as Nihal Singh Kang asked you, please share tips to how to be as good as you.
Well, Nihal, I'll give you a personal lesson. Don't worry. No, listen. Today's rallying has become, like in any other sport, has become very, very competitive. So you got to be really, really good. You got to, practice hard. Your lifestyle has to be very, very strict, and you have a regime to follow. Your fitness has to be amazing. Reflexes are very critical, and of course, you need a few sponsors. If you've got the money, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a fast car and beat anybody else. You got to be really good at your driving, and you have to really, really work hard is what I'd say. Times are different now in any sport, be it golf, be it any sport today. It's just not the money that matters. It's dedication and hard work, and that's critical.
And so, okay, what about now that we are in a lockdown, Hari? How are you spending your time in the lockdown, and how are you, keeping yourself fit? You're still, I see you on the Facebook riding all over the place for Mercedes and stuff. So how do you keep yourself fit, and especially in this lockdown?
Well, fortunate, thanks to the parents, that we have a decent house. We got a yard, we can walk around, actually set up a baddie court at the back. So, very, very fortunate, but feel for all those who are, I hope this lockdown, gets over soon. Lucky to have my family with me. My kids are with me. My father's with me. My mother-in-law is actually staying with me. So we're all, we have a great time passing time. We play cards during the day. It's getting warm. And, evenings, we try to cook whatever best meals we can get at the moment.
So are you learning to cook something, Hari? You're learning to cook something?
Well, actually, it's my turn this evening. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Is it a barbecue, or because I see you barbecuing on the rivers all the time?
I think they're going to get some good omelets and stuff.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah. And here some people saying happy cooking for you.
Thank you.
Any tips you want, you let us know.
Well, I just wish everybody, stay home, stay safe till this gets over. Look forward to catching everybody up face to face and getting back on the road again.
And Hari, now that you have you are the Arjuna awardee, so you become the torch bearer for the rally in this country. So what do you have in plan for the future of the rally? Because I feel rallying in India today, because we've been doing this Joba thing, there's a lot of opposition from the Janta as such coming, because too many vehicles on the road, you can't block roads and stuff like that. So do you think TST, time speed distance, is going to be the next future of rally, or what do you think?
Nippy, coming back to your first question, I did try for the Arjuna Award way back when I was rallying, but that time the government of India didn't recognize motorsport as a sport. But we are very proud to have Gaurav Gill, who got the Arjuna Award last year, and he really, really deserves it, because he's a fantastic driver. He's carried the torch ever since we've all the previous generation of Farad, Nikhil, Leela, and me have left off, and he's really taken rallying to world level. Indian rallying, represented India in world rallying. So that definitely is a great thing. And with this new government, have to give it to them. The sports minister, Kiren Rijiju, he's a fantastic guy. He's a hands-on guy. He knows what he's doing. And he's been kind enough to recognize our sport and actually support it big time. Probably the reason why Gaurav Gill has got the Arjuna Award is all thanks to him. Of course, Gaurav deserves it from as far as we are concerned. But definitely the government is giving big support. Coming back to your next question, yes, TSD is initiation into motorsport, but it's not the ultimate speed rallying that I would consider.
There's no thrill, no adrenaline. Yeah.
Yes. It's more, I mean, it's, TSD is to introduce people to start off with rallying, with navigation, teach them the basics of navigation and the basics of driving. But at the end of the day, cross-country rallying and speed competition rallying is the only answer to this. It's the, we have to find roads, and that is the only reason we can do it. Is it happens around the world as well, but the government sponsor it. Government support it. If they don't sponsor it, at least they back them up and give all the permissions to make sure that the safety is taken care of. For example, we're very happy in the Northeast. The governors of the chief ministers of Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh are very, very pro motorsport, and we do a lot of events there, and we get complete support from them. And it's a joy to do events in such states where you get complete, backing from the state government.
Hari, the Indian Motoring is asking, when will we get the appointment approval?
Get back to them, definitely. Definitely we'll do something.
Okay. Yeah. And then another question, picking at you again, they're asking about the spinning in his ambassador in Sector 8, a 360-degree spin in Sector 8. You remember that?
Say that again.
Asking him about spinning in his ambassador in Sector 8, a 360-degree spin. Wait, do you remember that? Doing it in Sector 8 market sometimes?
Possibly. After a party, nothing is, not to be told.
I guess. Not to be acknowledged.
not to be acknowledged. But yes, is that Vivek who's asking that?
I didn't get the name, yeah. Somebody's asked you. Yeah, somebody close to you, I'm sure.
Sure. Somebody who actually let me drive his car. So it has to be close.
So there's Kabir Wise saying hello to you.
Yeah, hi Kabir, how are you doing?
And so I guess that would be it. We had a nice session, and hope the sport goes higher and higher. And with you guys around.
First, I won the Sajoba in 1992, probably the first or second Sajoba. So
not first, but yeah.
Yes. So it started off there as well. So it's a fantastic opportunity for the people in the region, and now you're also getting people from all over the country. In fact, so it's a fantastic event that you've taken up again. I've discussed this with you. You should actually make it a round of the Indian National Rally Championship. If I was
Hari, that becomes a little problem. We have some technical problem there, but Hari, there's a big problem in North. We don't have any rally left except Sajoba. There's no rally in North. Raid is gone. So where are we going in North? You guys should start something here.
But Nippy, but let me catch you on this one. What is it that you don't run as a part of a national championship in that? All your regulations are fantastic. Your safety features are intact. And
we have enough. We have enough. Actually, that commitment level, probably we'll have to build up that commitment level for INRC. It is possible, but we want to carry a rally now. I'm going to tell you, maybe spread it over 4 days now instead of 3. So we want to spread it here. Because we have a lot of marches. We have about 250 dedicated marches.
We can discuss that offline. I'm sure we have the National Rally Championship can run for 2 days. Your Sajoba can run for 4 days. So you can have a 2-in-1.
So we can do something about it. That'd be great. Yeah, great. And thank you so much, Hari. It was nice having you here. And eCouch Playwright is, very obliged that you gave us this time. And all the best. Thanks. And stay safe, and stay in for the next.
Thank you, Nippy. It was wonderful talking to you. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.